Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know if we have anybody out there quite yet, but that often happens and they kind of wander in. I can't
Give
blame them. I guess they're used to me showing up late all the time.
give a few minutes.
Yep, that's what I mean. 5-10 minutes, we'll start having people coming in.
Yep. So, where should we start here?
Okay.
Oh, we waiting.
Well, that was mostly I was seeing how much lag we had to YouTube. That's kind of long today. So that'll throw the comments in the side chat out of sync with what we're talking about.
Yep.
That gets confusing at times. Mostly because we tend to switch topics quickly, so then by the time I'm seeing the comments in the side chat, we're on to something else.
Let's see. Got a couple people watching, it looks like. Probably just us.
Yeah, if it's just two, it's probably just you and I right now.
Well, I've been spending a lot of time working on my story.
Oh, okay. You got another chapter finished?
Yep. I've just been going through it and giving it some cleaning up.
Okay.
Also had to go back, rewrite a few things in previous chapters, and I'm gonna be reworking a few names here and there.
Yeah. Well, going back to the previous chapters always happens. You've got to do that to maintain continuity as new ideas come in.
Yeah, I had one idea where my characters were decided to take shifts and sleeping in shifts while they're out in the forest, which I didn't have before. So I had to go back through the past few chapters and work that into him.
Yep.
Which meant rewriting a few sections.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to insert things just to, set it up so that when it comes up later, people aren't surprised by something or sometimes you just want to go and, put in hints of something that's going to come up later.
Yeah, I was just looking at rewriting parts of the third chapter.
Yeah, well, that's part of the horse thing here today. I've got to learn some more about taking care of horses.
Oh?
Well, just for my own novel. That Lisa, the main character, apparently one of her hobbies is equestrian archery.
Yeah, horses will appear in the next chapter of my story. Yeah, they actually are riding around on horses that in the real world have gone extinct. Yeah, and we have somebody in the chat here. What is this?
Oh
no,
Shinzu.
Mm-hmm. I prefer that anything I use rated in horsepower or not have hooves.
I should have looked that up.
Oh.
What the conversion factor is for a horse. What the horsepower is defined as is something about lifting a certain weight and certain height. I should have had that ready.
Sure.
Let's look that up there.
So, interestingly enough, in the Chinese zodiac for 2026, it is the year of the fire horse.
The fire horse?
Yeah.
Well, I knew the horse was one of their zodiac signs. No, I did not know it was the fire horse this time. Okay. 1 mechanical horsepower is equal to 745.7 watts. It represents the power needed to lift 33,000 pounds over a distance of 1 foot in 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was something about lifting a specific weight, but I couldn't remember how much it was.
Harmonica Man.
Yep. Cosmic Kyle. Please tell me the reference was got 1.21 gigawatts. No, sorry.
No,
Offhand, I
1.20,
don't know what that is from.
1.21 gigawatts. It's a Back to the Future reference.
Okay. So how many horsepower is that? And we have a porpoise. Hello.
Hello. Still a little tired from all that
I'm still
traveling, but
totally exhausted from the trip. Yeah, I was just taking a nap half an hour ago.
well, I went grocery shopping. So we do have people in chat. We are live. Let's see, we have the Cosmic Kyle and Jinx U6407.
Yep. Hold on just a sec.
Did you buy that plutonium from the Iranians? That's probably not the best idea. Although I'm pretty sure Doc Brown could have handled the war with the Iranians much better than Trump could.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Actually, that'd be good. He even got a participation trophy for that.
Hey, listen. Losing wars with Iran happens to all men of Trump's age.
Okay, so what's this? Trump got a trophy for the war?
Yes, this is his participation trophy, and it reads, Iran War Participation Trophy. We hereby award President Donald J. Trump the participation trophy for his enthusiastic involvement in the Iran War. While some concern themselves with military strategy, diplomacy, or measurable outcomes, President Trump demonstrated the courage to participate regardless of the final score. As a recipient of this prestigious award, President Trump joins the rankings of children everywhere who receive recognition for simply showing up. We join in you in celebrating the remarkable achievement. With honor, the Sincere Handshake Prize Committee.
Yeah. I need to find a way to fund a business startup without the credit or borrowing industry involved. Any suggestions? Have you started your own crypto coin? I understand that.
Yeah. If
More
you can get a
realistic.
crypto coin working, you make good money off of it.
More realistically, if you can get enough backers for a product, you might be able to do a Kickstarter.
Yep. Hey, what? Okay. I opened up the gate so Sage can come and try and explore a bit.
Athena. You were busy chewing me.
Sorry, Purpose, what were you saying?
I was talking to Athena.
I know.
You were busy chewing me out when I got back. And demanding affection at the same time.
Well, yes. Harmonica Man says, I don't know what that is. What, you don't know what Kickstarter is? Or
a Kickstarter, like GoFundMe or...
Yeah, Kickstarter is a bit different from a GoFundMe because you're already presenting, an idea for a product. And usually you have little perks that you can give people. The ones who get in on the Kickstarter will get some, extra perks for the product, extra accessory or something.
Yeah.
Athena, what are you showing your affection for the feline image capture device?
Yeah, Sage has actually moved up to the point now that she wanted it so bad that she was laying on my chest. So just laying on my chest nose to nose with me, basically saying, "You will pet me."
Yes, the go fuck me is when you're fucked and you need money, and and the crap starter is when and you have crap you want to make, you can need money for it.
I thought the Go Fuck Me was the next stage up from the OnlyFans where, you don't have a product, you are the product.
You could also try busking,
Busking?
playing music in a city like street musicians.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think it was a Conan O'Brien a segment where he got professional musicians, like well-known musicians, to do street busking to see if people would realize who they were.
That sounds kind of fun. Mr. Shadow Kitty, hello. Don't see you very often, except when I manage to get over to Angie's streams.
I do think it's interesting that one of the people at one of the music open mics does play the harmonica, but doesn't know Red River Valley. I thought that was a required song to learn when playing the harmonica.
Oh, so anyway, the topic today is celebration of the horse.
And I'm sure we'll be on topic for about 3 minutes, because I have nothing to say about horses.
Yep. Well, I'm needing to learn about horses. Because the main character in my novel, one of her hobbies is equestrian archery. And it's like, when I'm writing these things, I don't know where the characters get these ideas. So then I have to go and research them. So I just need some basics on, what's required to take care of a horse.
I used to do some horseback riding when I was younger.
Well, busking also doesn't work in smaller. Although we did have a guy here who played the saxophone.
Yeah, well, to do the street musician thing. Oh, hi, Journey. To do the street musician thing, you've got to have an area where you've got, pretty heavy foot traffic.
Which smaller cities don't have, generally.
Yep.
And the guy who had the saxophone was generally where the places where the panhandlers hung out, so.
Yeah, and some of those panhandlers can get pretty mean if they think you're taking their corner.
And some of those panhandlers can get pretty aggressive.
Yep.
And most of the local ones aren't actually homeless, they're just...
Well, I understand that if you're good at it, you can actually make some decent money that way, but like so many other things, it's how good you are at playing the part and selling a story.
it's just mostly, I mean, people just view them as nuisances and ignore them. Like there's almost always one at each of the Walmarts in town.
Yeah, same here.
I just leave my window rolled up and drive past.
Yeah, I often don't mind giving them a buck or two.
I usually don't carry cash on me anymore, so.
Yeah, well, that's most of the time I don't have cash, but if I happen to have a couple of singles. Yeah, that must make it a lot harder because, yeah, since COVID, a lot of people just don't carry cash anymore. People got used to doing everything with the credit or debit cards.
I think I found a spot where it feels good.
Oh,
Scratching
while
Molly.
kicking.
She's upside down getting her belly rubbed, and I think I found the spot. She's got her leg going, and she's upside down with a smile on her face.
Yep. Ethan is asleep on my foot.
Dogs
Like I
left having
said, I left the gate open to say you could explore the living room.
their bellies rubbed. Cats expose their belly either as a sign of trust or as a trap.
Yep.
Or
Petunia did that. That Petunia would roll over and show you her belly, and you could get 3 strokes. If you tried for a 4th one, then she would do the whole thing of just coiling around your hand with all four claws. And that was just to hold your hand in place so she could bite your wrist.
Athena sometimes does that as an invitation to play, though.
Yeah.
And apparently, even if a bison does it, it means he's gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah, stop trying to pet the furry cows. Actually, Sage did that. She rolled over and she showed me her belly. And I knew I shouldn't, but I gave it a couple of strokes. And her tail started flicking, so I could tell she was a little annoyed at me for doing that. But she didn't, she didn't like claw me or anything. So she is totally trusting me. And she has just become so cuddly. So now she just has to get the confidence to realize that Ethan isn't going to attack her, and then everything will be fine.
Yeah, I've seen this video making the rounds and some poor reporting on it and all that. But you can see the way the bison's behaving right now. It's the way he's rubbing on his head on the ground. That's aggression. He's in heat. He wants to get it on with someone. So these two, this couple here, I thought it was a woman there, but I guess it's like his grandson now. I couldn't tell. But they're walking. They just start noticing that you're here. So yeah, laying down like that, that's actually not a good sign. Now this is where they make a big mistake here. And this is where some of the reporting gets it wrong. I noticed this right here, what they're doing. That's not a good idea. See, this is showing, as far as bison is concerned, you're being aggressive.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they say they should stay about 25 yards away. And yeah, I don't think that's 25 yards. I mean, the roads may be, 20 feet. And then there's between the road and the buffers, maybe about 40 feet most. So this is where the things really, where there's his tail going. That's the first sign that, hey, you're pissing me off.
Yep.
Now he's rolling over, so that's another sign of aggression, as I mentioned. Now he's getting up, he's getting ready to get shot. Now this is where some of the reporting I noticed on the Secular Talk got really wrong. He was thinking, oh, this truck is what caused him to start charging. No, he's obviously starting to charge before the truck came by. I was actually, at first, I thought it was maybe he was going to hit that truck, but it kind of just
it did look like he was charging the truck.
So he goes after. I don't know where the other one goes. You can see the person right there. I don't know where
Yeah.
they go though.
Yeah, I don't see
So
where the older guy is.
the older guy, he's being chased around, so he's
Yep, there he is.
being chased by this thing. Oh, he makes a big mistake. Besides, he makes more big mistakes here. Okay, so the bull stops here and starts just taking his aggression out on that tree, and he's just standing there. Don't just stand there. This is where his big mistake is. Now, his best course of action, what he could have done. Let's see if I can get this into the frame here. This car right here. That's what he should have gone for. Get behind that car.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the bison comes out at him, he can keep the car between him and the bison.
Well, he may have been wondering about his grandson there and tried to get him out of there.
Looks like the grandson took the hell off. He would not have been
Well,
bison
I didn't see him, so I didn't know where he went to.
Bison tend to be very focused when they get aggressive like this, so it was already focusing on him.
Mm-hmm.
So he once the grandson was out of the picture like that, he was gone. He wasn't concerned anymore. So he needed to get himself behind something here. He's got the garbage can here, the picnic table. The car would have been his best bet.
Yeah.
It's chasing him around again, and he gets a horn up his ass.
Oh God! Yeah, that could easily kill someone.
He was injured. He's apparently survived.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you ever happen to be in Yellowstone and come across a bison like this and it starts charging you, get behind something, get on the ground, cover your head and neck. Get against a tree, something large that you can keep between you.
Mm-hmm. Something solid enough that the bison won't take it out on the first hit.
Well, mostly you want to have something you can, like I said, the car would have been perfect because the bison can't maneuver around that as well as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to cover that
every year.
Yeah, just wanted to cover that since I saw some reporting on that wasn't too great.
Oh, that's a headline. Don't blame the explosive diarrhea parasite on Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's explosive diarrhea.
I wasn't going to, but
I can see a lot of people would. But yeah, what is there an epidemic here?
Yes. There's something getting on lettuce, basil, a few other produce things that apparently it's very difficult to wash off. You can't rinse it off. You basically have to cook the food.
But
yeah, that often happens, especially it seems with the lettuce a lot of times.
But I can understand why people associate explosive diarrhea with Taco Bell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had Taco Bell in a while.
I think it's another one of RFK Jr.'s, brilliant ideas for making us healthy again.
Well, almost every year there's a bit of an outbreak with the lettuce and some kind of recall, and it usually just comes to that it came from somebody who was picking the crops.
Okay.
Because they don't provide them, proper toilet facilities or anywhere to wash their hands. Hey, stop the stupidity.
Alex Jones died on the ocean submarine in 2023 and was replaced with an imposter. How many times is InfoWars going to report on Alex Jones's death?
I don't know, but
the most.
Go ahead.
The most recent one was where he just exploded after inflating like a balloon.
I should really catch one of those streams.
At the Arkan Counter protest, there was somebody wearing a T-shirt that said InfoWars, but the O was replaced by an onion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alex Jones is not happy. I have to wonder if his new, like Alex Jones, whatever, is doing well.
I didn't even know he was a. Yeah, I mean, I figured he got a new gig somewhere, but I didn't know he was on. I think just losing the name Infowars in itself is going to be a problem for him.
Oh, yeah, the new Infowars logo does have that like onion
Mhm.
thing for the.
Yep.
Also, gotta love how it's a rainbow.
Yep.
And how they're giving any money they earn from it to the family, Sandy Hook families.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So actually, I'm surprised. I did get a little burnt from the ARC protest, but it didn't stay that way for long.
Yeah.
That's my foot, Molly.
Well, I at least didn't get another sunburn. I got the sunburn at the family reunion the weekend before, and in the days before driving to the ARC protest, all the skin was peeling off my back and shoulders. Which I tried to be good and stay in the shade the whole time, so that just shows you that, yeah, without sunscreen, it can get you even if you're mostly in the shade.
Molly was determined to lick my foot.
Ah.
She's decided to settle for sitting here, pressed up against me, getting her neck scratched.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is another day that if I didn't set an alarm, I would have slept through the stream.
Yeah.
But I had to get up this morning for my therapy appointment, and
I should be
so then I
finding
laid
out.
down to take a nap again.
I should be finding out what classes I have to teach next year soon. I'm guessing math, algebra, business math, and computer science again. You have a horse. You have a horse for okay. Yes, if you have a horse-related story, you have more horse-related stories than I do. The most horse-related stories I can deal with have to do with passing the Amish on back roads in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've had that experience a couple of times of passing the horse-drawn buggies.
And the Amish tend to not be very nice to their animals.
I know as a fact that I went horseback riding as a child a few times, but I don't remember the experience. I know that it happened.
And I see, I put in a maintenance request to fix the overhead light, and they're going along.
Yep.
I'll have to put in the request again just to make sure they heard me, but...
Well, fortunately, they mowed the lawn while I was trying to nap, so you don't have to hear that here now.
Yeah. Oh, did you know the horses evolved in North America?
Yes, but they went extinct. And a lot of people think one of the reasons why the Native American, the indigenous peoples of the Americas had such relatively primitive technology compared to the Europeans at the time was the extinction of the horse caused there to be no decent pack animal.
Yeah. I've seen that theory that, basically without having an animal that could carry things or that could work. I'm I'm having trouble with my words, but something that could work, as a draft animal for pulling a plow that they wouldn't have developed as extensive agriculture.
The closest they had in the South America was the llama.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, the largest horse to have ever lived in North America.
Yep. And camels actually are descended from a common ancestor of the horse. So it's kind of weird that we associate camels from the Middle East because they also evolved in North America.
Yep.
Llamas and camels are related.
There was one hypothesis that that saber-toothed tiger was a specialist hunter for camels, though there are some there's evidence to that otherwise with
I hadn't seen that they were a specialist hunter.
It's been proposed, seeing is the saber teeth he fit pretty well in between the neck bones of a camel.
Speaking of neck bones, did you know the giraffe has the same number of neck bones you do?
Yep.
And then, they've got that thing about the laryngeal nerve that, because it has to take a detour around the aorta, that in a giraffe it's 14 feet long. So if that's true of basically all tetrapods, then I wonder how long the laryngeal nerve would have been on some of the long-necked dinosaurs, like the Diplodocus or the Argentinosaurus.
Interesting to think about.
Yeah. So I guess it's roughly twice the length of their neck. Which dinosaur had the longest neck?
Well, this guy here is the Eohippus. He's what the dawn horse, or basically the common ancestor for all horses.
Mm-hmm.
This one has it depicted with this sort of spotted deer pattern, though I did find a few others that kind of showed different patterns. Like let's see here.
Yeah, and it's they had the scale there, so yeah, that was like just a bit over a foot tall, like 14 inches or something.
Yeah, their average was about 12 inches tall. Some reports had them up to about 20 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Or for those of us who are such heathens not to use freedom units, it's about 50.8 centimeters is at the max. And this one has the stripes instead. So I guess we're kind of guessing as to what the actual pattern on them are. Here's another version of the sort of a modeled look.
Yeah, like you say, the coat patterns and colors are largely a guess. Because unless there's been skin preserved, we really don't have anything that would tell us what the colorations are.
Although if the animal lived into the ice ages, there is a chance we might have something like that. Like we know a fair bit about mastodons simply because.
Yeah.
Well, even a couple of dinosaurs that they have, found skin fossils that were well enough preserved that they could tell what some of the chromatoforms were.
We did find preserved fur in the skin of a giant sloth.
Mm-hmm. I have some preserved fur of a much smaller sloth. I still have a lock of sloth girl's hair.
Ah,
I have a cat clearly eyeing me from my recliner.
Yes, because you're not currently petting the cat.
Oh, Shield. Come on over here with me, man.
So, the dinosaur with the longest neck was the Mamenchosaurus. I kind of thought that might be the one, but I would need to check. So their neck alone was nearly 50 feet long. So that would be a bit over 15 meters for you metric people.
Why are we using communist units?
Well, because I Googled it and it gave both of them right here, so.
Although, interestingly enough, I don't think a knot belongs to either system. Although knots are about rates. It's about nautical miles per hour, and I think a nautical mile per hour, nautical miles defined by 1 degree is 1 degree of the Earth's circumference.
No. That sounds right, like I read it somewhere, but I don't remember. Gotcha, Cog.
Yeah, 1/60th of a degree of latitude at the equator.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that does make a difference, I guess.
I should have collected some pictures of cuties riding horses. I know there's lots of those on the internet.
Well, there's a farm, I know, not too far from here that has horses, but I don't know if they'd go appreciate people taking pictures of them.
Yeah. One of my cousins worked at a horse riding stable for a couple of years.
I don't know if I'd enjoy that. And quite frankly, the only horse I've seen recently is BoJack Horseman.
I've never watched that show.
I watched like the first 2 seasons of it.
It's good through a straight watch through once.
Kitty's riding horses.
But
I was actually thinking actual photographs. Because I know I've seen a lot of stuff, a lot of little bits on the internet about that, about, cats just laying up on horses' backs while they walk around. That horses and barn cats seem to often strike good friendships.
I know there was some reason why the Dalmatian became the fire dog. It has to do with horses, but I don't remember what it was.
It was because they were the breed that was fast enough to keep up with the horses when the firemen used the horse-drawn wagons. Oh. Yeah, the Dalmatians could keep up with the wagons, and then the dogs would guard the horses while they were fighting the fire. And the dogs were also able to help keep the horses calm.
A cat. The horse doesn't look very impressed, though.
Yeah.
Horse is like, what are you doing? Whereas the cat looks like, oh yes, I can see from up here.
Well, of course, because cats are ruler of all they survey, so that's why if they get to a higher position, they get to rule more.
Damn, that's loud.
Yeah.
There's not much I can do about it.
Ethan is asleep with his head twisted up. And he's got that thing that his fangs don't really fit in his mouth when they're closed. So he's got one little toothy sticking out. Yeah, I hope they don't take too long there.
Yeah, really.
But
I thought they were done yesterday.
Well, they have to stretch it out.
Either that or maybe they cut yesterday and they're spreading fertilizer today or something.
No.
Okay, I know they've done that here a few times.
I don't spread fertilizer on the lawn.
Ah.
It's not even mowing. Oh, now he is.
Let's see here. Early in the morning, turf activist J.K. Rowling threatens to finance wave of attacks on Amnesty International over reports of anti-trans groups.
Well, that's going to make her even more popular than she already is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, and she was just pleading with the queer community to watch the new show.
Oh, that Harry Potter series?
Yeah. Yeah, Netflix, I think, is doing another Harry Potter series.
Yeah, they're doing a live-action series on it.
Well, at this point, J.K. Rowling can do two things if she wants me to enjoy her work again. She can die and not benefit from it anymore. Or she can recant everything she said.
See, the report was...
And start donating all of the proceeds to trans support charity.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't agree with the people who doubled down on her when she was a little confused, but but it's not like the whole digital circus thing where people were arguing for a while whether or not Jax was trans until the creator pretty much said it's like, oh, yes, Jax is trans.
Yeah. The reports was retracted shortly after publication, replaced with a statement from the organization saying the report was uploaded, quote, without going through the established internal review process, and that it's, quote, language does not reflect the position of Amnesty International UK, which is why it was promptly removed. But with the withdrawal and public acknowledgement, it was not enough to state the organizations that have fought tooth and nail to exclude and or antagonize the transgender community in the UK. Yada yada. So basically, they're still trying to go after Amnesty International, even though they pulled the whole thing down.
Yeah, and just why do people just spend so much of their time and energy and even money just to hate on people that they probably wouldn't even notice us existing? People get the idea. Politicians are using this as a diversion. It has no effect on your life.
I'm sure until about 10 years ago, most people didn't really realize he existed.
Yeah. So, stop paying attention to the culture wars and start pushing your politicians on the things that matter, like how come we can't afford groceries?
Why are we engaged in foreign wars overseas that seem to have no purpose other than to distract from the Epstein files?
Yeah, well, normally if we're involved in a war in the Middle East, it's because of oil, but yeah, the only thing this one has done is cause the price of oil to skyrocket.
Well, it's helping great with insider trading.
Yeah.
I just hope natural causes can hurry up in that particular case.
Yeah. Yeah, they have taken far too long to intercede in matters.
Yes. Well, speaking of which, we lost Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, well, that's some improvement, but who is he going
Somebody
to be replaced with?
somebody went into the Wikipedia and changed the entry to say he was the first lady.
Personally, I have to agree with Josh Johnson, from the Daily Show. When he woke up and saw that Lindsey Graham died, he said, "That's a really weird way to spell Mitch McConnell."
Yeah, with Mitch McConnell MIA and Lindsey he dead, that effectively he ties up the Senate.
Well, Lindsey Graham's placement has been named. It's
Okay.
his sister, who was rumored to like men just as much as Lindsey did.
Okay. Yeah, is it for both of them? Is it just that the governor's going to get to appoint replacements?
Well, the Republican Party in Tennessee doesn't want to have the governor replace Mitch. So that's why a lot of people think they've hidden his actual death for so long because they want to hit a certain date where it's a special election and not a governor appointment.
Mm-hmm.
The Kentucky legislature has also tried to say, since they realized it's like, oh crap, we have a Democratic governor and a Republican Congress. It's like if something should happen, we're going to name 3 Republicans you can choose from. And Andy Bashir has come out and said, it's like, you know what? I'm going to treat this as a state office, and if someone dies, I have a right to appoint.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's also given an ultimatum to Mitch McConnell, especially over that video where he looks like a Muppet. Or not video, photo. It's like, come out and show us that you can speak.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to replace you.
Yeah, I'm seeing that photo making a lot of rounds with AI alterations.
Getting the same treatment as the Bernie Sanders with the mittens.
Well, my favorite Photoshop alteration was just one where there's a Klingon right to his right controlling him like a puppet.
I like the one where you see in his back, he's got a bunch of buttons. And smile, left hand, right hand, and wave.
And I was hearing someone call Mitch McConnell. Someone saying that Mitch McConnell looked like one of Jeff Dunham's rejected puppets. Well, we've all been all right. Oh, I could go get my harmonica, but no one wants to hear that. Actually, like most harmonica players, I have multiple harmonicas, but still, no one wants to hear that.
I have 2 broken kazoos.
No one wants to hear those either. How is the kazoo even an instrument?
I don't know.
Never understood the point of a kazoo. You hum into it? For what purpose? Does it amplify the sound? Does it change it? I mean, at least I know why you kind of like buzz into a brass instrument.
Actually, I only got the kazoos because one of my little grandnephews at the family reunion had set up a store and was trying to make some money selling some of the prizes he won in the games. So I gave him a couple of quarters for the kazoos.
I actually ran across the lemon state here a couple days ago. I thought that was cute. Then I heard a story a couple weeks ago where there were two black boys running a lemonade stand. So the neighbors called the cops on them because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And it was a female officer who came and said, "It's like, this is a lemonade stand." So she went up and bought a glass of lemonade. And then she got over the radio and said, it's like, "Hey, there's some delicious lemonade down here. Why don't all the officers on duty come down? And bring the fire department too."
Nice.
Although I heard of one case that a few years ago that for whatever reason the neighbors complained about it, and somebody from the city came down and wrote her a violation for not having a vendor's permit.
Oh yeah, I've heard that happen before on several occasions.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, I think after that story broke, one of the towns near where I live decided that they would have Lemonade Day just for people to have lemonade stands.
Okay.
Make it into a city event.
Yeah.
The kids can go out and...
That sounds fun. Yeah, that's one of those things that you don't really see much anymore because it's gotten to seem more dangerous for the kids.
No, it's actually gotten safer. It's just people are more helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
It's not like we could go... Listen, it's not like the 80s where you could go out, play all day in the woods, and as long as you were back by the time the lights came on.
Yep.
Does it need a hospital visit? No? Okay, walk it off.
And the whole latchkey kid thing. And I know many of us were traumatized by the death of Optimus Prime.
Which time?
In the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that they randomly killed off so many characters, some of them without even a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
Just because they wanted to make room for a new wave of toys.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it's the animators were kind of surprised. It's like, these are just cartoon characters. Why are people so attached to them?
Didn't really think that one through, did they?
Yeah. Well, they should have appreciated it meant they were good at their job because they had spent a couple of years trying to develop characters based on the toys.
Yeah. Job well done.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of which,
that is literally how Transformers as we know it came to be.
Well, I mean, it was the only cartoon that was a toy commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even the theme song was originally from the commercial.
Yeah, but literally, I forget who the guy was, but he had gone to Japan and he brought back a mess of toys from 3 different toy lines. And these were presented to one of the writers at Marvel to develop a story behind them.
And
just
Mattel,
so Hasbro could sell all the toys.
Well, I mean, Hasbro wasn't even the first one to do that. Mattel did it with Masters of the Universe first.
Yeah.
Because that was created to sell, like, the Masters of the Universe toys. I guess it's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but it's never clear who the Masters of the Universe are.
Yeah, but just the Transformers in particular was specifically that it was toys that were already being sold in Japan. And they meshed 3 toy lines together.
Yeah, what was that? Macross was one of them.
Yeah, Macross and Micro Changers.
I
I
believe
forget what the third one was called.
there were some copyright issues with the GoBots, so it was bought out by the same company that owned Transformers, and now the GoBots are part of the Transformers.
Yes, they are now. That's how they resolved that. But at the time, though, there were commercials on, or there were shows on TV for both Transformers and GoBots. So they were actually competing head to head on different channels, and they were both selling their toys. I don't know. GoBots never caught my attention very well.
Ew, you got GoBots.
Yeah, GoBots were always kind of the discount Transformers.
But in the same area, we had the Voltron cartoons, which apparently was the Japanese anime. The Lions one was based on was called Go Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I prefer the Lions one rather over the vehicle ones.
Well, there were supposed to be 3 Voltrons.
Yeah.
We didn't get the inner universe one. I think that's only 3. There was the near universe one, which was the cars, and the outer universe one, which was the Lions.
Yeah, and the other one was just like 3 gladiator robots that merged together.
Yeah, I remember the toy line having those, but
I remember, those being in the toy line and being confused because they never showed up in it, either of the series.
yeah.
So I didn't know why they were being called Voltron when they never showed up in any of the animation.
And then I remember there was like a movie that ended the entire thing where like both Voltrons worked together to take down Robeast from Planet Doom.
I had heard of that. I never got to see that one.
That would be a good movie, Night Mage.
Hmm.
If you can find it.
Have to look. I have the Lion Voltron series. I have to get the vehicle one, and I can look around. See if I can find something on the last one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw the Lion one. They're probably the vehicle one. I probably just saw some episodes. I probably didn't watch it all the way through.
And when Netflix had the Voltron series, it was definitely focused. They only focused on the Lion.
Yep.
But the Lion was the coolest. But anyway, here's what I remember with the collection.
Mm-hmm.
So these 3 here are the ones that never showed up.
Yeah. I don't know, even the vehicle one, I guess because some of the vehicles just look so weird.
Well, there were also 2 different animes from Japan.
Yeah.
That had slightly different storylines.
I had this the set here of the 5 lions that can combine into Voltron.
Yeah, Lego released a set of the Lion Voltron. So didn't know if they were ever going to do a vehicle one.
Anyway, so yeah, apparently my sister remembered things like Star Blazers.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And I guess the Robotech technically came out when I was of that age, but it never got played on local television. Because I also remember Robotech came out, the Palladium came out with a Robotech game.
Mm-hmm.
And FASA copied a lot of their mech designs and put them into Battletech. Palladium rightfully sued FASA for doing that. And that's why properties like Battletech and Shadowrun have bounced around from owners ever since, because the same people keep doing the same stupid things. I think Topps owns Shadowrun and Battletech right now, but not entirely certain. But do you have Voltron Legendary Defenders, the new one?
Yeah. I remember Star Blazers and watching Robotech. That my ex started watching Robotech, because she just, the anime thing was going on with the kids and all, and just to get an idea of it. And she's watching it, and she said, "This isn't a cartoon. This is a soap opera."
Legendary Defenders wasn't bad.
It kind of was.
Yeah, well, the Robotech Macross saga, yeah, it really was.
But I didn't watch it when I was that age because it was now. It was just, and I do love the Russian captain. It's just
No, I mean the new series.
Yeah,
we're talking about Robotech.
yeah. No, I haven't had a streaming service in a couple of years, so I haven't been watching anything, and that's fine. It's like, yeah, I've got so many other hobbies and things I've been doing. I realized I didn't really watch much TV. It just tended to be on as background noise while I was doing other things. So I could certainly use YouTube for that and not pay for the streaming service.
Or podcasts.
Yeah.
Or if you want to sit down and watch it, I mean, if you have a computer, you can get these old shows.
Yeah, I need to set up some kind of a torrent and go back and get some old shows.
And YouTube often has movies you can watch for free.
Of course, that's how I wound up here in the first place. I only stumbled across the online atheist community because I was looking for old episodes of the Transformers.
I think the only reason I came across it is because I love watching people take down creationists. But then the atheist community started to be like what's the word I'm looking for? The online misogynist community, because they thought because they could easily debunk bad eighth grade biology, that meant they could debunk political philosophies just as easily.
Mm.
And I think they quickly found out that wasn't the case.
Yep. Oh, Shiny, say, how you been doing? So, Journey, how you been?
Oh, I've been all right. Yeah, the new job has kind of limited my ability to participate in the show. So apologies for that.
No problem.
Yeah. Jobs have a way of doing that.
Yeah. So my horse story comes from when I was still a Christian. I was active in a Southern Baptist church, and I was kind of helping out with the junior high youth ministry.
Was the horse of the same denomination?
Couldn't tell you on that. So it may have been a horse of a different color.
Okay, so yeah.
Anyways, so the junior high youth director had arranged for the youth group to go to a horse farm to ride horses, and I had ridden horses before, but only on like a guided thing where everybody's going at a slow walking pace.
Mm-hmm.
And I was interested in riding the horse at a bit faster pace, like a trot. And let's see. I'll call the youth director Michelle, for lack of a better name.
Okay.
And she was used to riding horses fast, and so she was coaching me to stand up in the saddle and she was basically trying to teach me to ride the horse at full speed, which I wasn't really ready for. And my style in general tends to be, I like to ease into things. And her style is to jump in full speed. So the horse was getting mixed signals from me as to whether we're going fast or not, or whatever.
Yeah, trot or a full run.
Yeah. And so and so a little further, in the ride, we're kind of cutting through some woods, and there were some other horses, just standing around grazing, and my horse decided he'd had enough of the tour with the crazy dude on his back, and he just kind of pulls to the side and hangs with his homies. And I didn't, I knew to like kick the heels to get him to go, but he'd had enough of my commands.
Yeah.
And
Horse was like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm not listening to you.
Exactly. So eventually, the farm sent some people back to say, "Hey, what happened to Harvey? Or what happened to Journey?" We can bleep that now, right?
Realize.
Anyways, go on. We'll fix it in post.
When do we fix anything in post? Or for that matter, when do we fix anything?
I meant it'll be fixed post apocalypse when all trace of this is wiped out.
Well, there you go.
What if someone stumbles along some like YouTube data center and finds this, and it's part of some weird quest line?
Yeah, sure. They can start a cult based on our live streams.
So anyways,
What if you have this ridiculous cult in the Fallout universe either?
Okay, let Journey finish his story.
So the horse is enjoying his side quest with his buddies, and a couple farmhands show up and manage to get the horse back on the path and headed back to the stable. And when the horse saw the stable ahead of him, he was like, okay, good, I can get rid of this guy. And he starts getting more into a full gallop, and the whole time I had trouble getting one of my feet to like sit in the stirrup correctly, and finally it just slipped out. So I'm just bouncing along on my butt, and at that point the horse I think tried to throw me, because he was really tired of me. And bottom line, got back to the stable safe and sound, and the horse and I gladly went our separate ways.
Yeah.
So that was my semi-traumatic encounter with a horse.
Yeah, I had said earlier that I remembered as a fact that I had gone horseback riding several times as a child, and I couldn't remember it. And yeah, now part of it, one of the episodes is coming clearer that I remember that one of the times I went horseback riding, and it was always like you were saying, like a guided trail thing, just the trail through the woods.
I
But I
remember.
remember one of the times the horse decided to walk under a branch that I could not get down that low, so the horse, basically knocked me off with the branch.
I remember the horseback riding. I took the instructor wanted to get me to get the horse to run, and we had a perfect relationship. I mean, that horse. I didn't want to make her run, and she didn't want to run.
Hey, Molly.
So I'm gonna drop out now because I gotta head to work, and I'll listen on YouTube.
Okay.
Right. Thanks for the story.
Yep.
Enjoy the job.
Thanks for coming
Okay.
by.
Or enjoy the money you get from the job.
Whoop, whoop. Oh.
I don't think I could handle working at a pet cemetery and crematory.
No.
Crematory.
No, I don't. I couldn't do that either.
And horses are the type of animal I imagine the owners get really attached to.
Yeah.
I mean, not that people don't get really attached to all their pets except maybe fish, but
Yes, and they especially get attached to horses is when they take them on OnlyFans.
I'm afraid to ask any fellow questions about horses on OnlyFans.
I don't want to know either. Is this like knowing that Donkey is getting a spin-off for Shrek? I mean, it made sense to have a show called based on Puss in Boots, but the Donkey show. It's not even my joke, but
Yeah, I get it.
it's terrible.
That's a Tijuana thing. Yeah, well, also, with pets, part of it is how long they're part of your life. So,
And horses live for 30 years.
yeah, 25, 30 years, something like that. Which is, 2 to 3 times as long as a cat would live. And dogs, I learned that their life expectancy is basically inverse of their size. That large dogs tend to not live very long.
It's kind of the opposite the way with parrots. Usually, the bigger the parrot, the longer they live.
I don't know if I could handle having a parrot as a pet.
Or you got to ride with Clydesdales.
Yeah.
I've always liked the draft horses best. They've always been my favorite type.
Yeah, parrots are basically living with a alarm clock blender without an off switch.
Yeah.
Why don't you have your Zoomies at 3 a.m. like normal cats? Or do you have them at 3 a.m. and I'm just too deeply asleep to notice?
Yeah, Sammy's son always got him about 1 a.m. About 1 a.m. he would start racing up and down the hallway and bouncing off the walls.
Athena seems to get them at about 7:30 a.m., which is unusual.
Yeah, that would be intolerable for me.
Because that's also when I'm trying to leave the house. When I go to work, so...
I wonder if they're somewhat, triggered by like some kind of anxiety she has about you leaving.
No, I wouldn't. I would believe there's separation anxiety. When I had to go do laundry yesterday, she was not happy.
Yeah. Yeah. My kitties are being super clingy, of course. I knew that would happen, but I've been out of town like, 5 weekends in the last 6 weeks, or 3 weekends rather in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So it's gotten to be a bit much even on me, and certainly the kitties are not happy about being left alone so much. Oh. Ethan has been dreaming here. Keep watching his little feet going. Yeah, I just need some time to recover. I've had too many road trips too close together. Don't Google Emma Claw. Okay. I don't know what Emma Claw is, but I'll take your advice and not Google it. Yeah, the thing about dogs I learned when someone I knew was raising Irish Wolfhounds, and I found out that their average life expectancy was only 6 or 7 years.
I mean, they're one of the biggest dogs, but
Yeah.
the American Foxhound, which was bred in part with the Irish Wolfhound, has an average lifespan of about 12 to 15 years, and they're not small dogs. They are really big beagles, is what they look like.
Yeah. With dogs, I've always been partial to the sled dogs, the Huskies or Malamutes.
Of course, the English Foxhound looks like a really big beagle, too. It's just they have stockier legs. Except the American Foxhound was bred for hunting in the Americas. And apparently George Washington was given foxhounds.
Ah. I remember seeing a painting of him with the dogs. I didn't know what the connection was.
That's why the American Foxhound is the state animal of Virginia.
I wonder if most states have like a state dog.
I don't know if they have a state dog. The American Foxhound is a state animal.
Yeah.
Like the state animal of Pennsylvania is the white-tailed deer.
Yep.
The state bird is the ruffled grouse. I have no idea what Indiana's state animal is.
And we have Majestic Beck. So anyone in the side chat know anything about horses that is safe for work?
All right, the state bird is the cardinal. The flower is the peony. The state tree is the tulip tree, not the sycamore. The state river is the Wabash. Indiana state language, English.
The Illinois state language is listed as American. They made a distinction that they don't speak English, they speak American.
And is there some like state law that in Chicago you can't put mustard on a hot dog, ketchup on a hot dog?
I think that's a myth, but the Heinz company has started putting vending machines around Chicago that sell packets of ketchup, specifically because of this.
Why?
Because a lot of hot dog vendors around Chicago will not have ketchup.
So the Heinz company just said we're good. Okay.
Yeah, the Heinz company just said we're missing an opportunity to sell our product, so here.
Yeah, I've taken to liking spicy brown mustard or Dijon mustard with some cheddar on my hot dogs.
Well, for hot dogs, I do like ketchup and mustard, and just the classic yellow mustard for regular hot dogs. And then, some relish or some diced onion.
Not really much.
But I don't like the sweet pickle relish. I want, the good dill pickle relish.
Which one's saltier?
The dill.
Yeah, dill.
But I mean, it's like the dill pickle relish can sometimes be hard to find. It's like places only sell the sweet relish.
It was called Voltron Fleet of Doom.
Yes.
Fleet of Doom.
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 Doom. That's what I said the first time.
Okay, there is no actual law against putting ketchup on a hot dog, though it is considered a severe culinary taboo in some areas. The National Hot Dog and Sausage Council famously includes a rule advising adults against using it after the age of 18.
What?
About putting ketchup on a hot dog. Adults are advised against it.
It's considered a kid thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural taboo.
That makes no sense to me, but whatever.
Yeah. So Majestic Beck is saying mayo, banana peppers, olives, and fried onion.
Yuck.
And it was even worse the first time I read it because I skipped the word peppers. So I read it as mayo and bananas. And that would be much worse. Oh, yes. And of course, yeah, a good chili dog. Yes.
Mayo and banana sounds like a sex thing.
I could go to the fair and get corn dogs, but I can't stand corn dogs.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't like something about the combination of cornbread and hot dogs does not appeal to me.
I think they're okay. I mean, they're not the greatest food in the world.
Yeah, Sloth Girl used to really like them. I've kind of, I can take them or leave them.
Actually, I'm surprised how quickly my Middlesworth potato chips went.
Oh, I'm not. There was a lack of snackies there, so. Hold on, I have to step away for a moment.
Honestly, I can't believe I forgot the kettle cooked sour cream and onion.
Like spicy pickle Polish sausage with beer. Okay.
Okay, what's I can get locally?
I've been actually getting brats from Aldi rather than hot dogs. They're pretty good. It's the cheddar ones. I once found the Monterey Jack one there too. So I haven't seen in that back. Let's see if I can look for that at Voltron anything later.
Well, I was considering how if it was on YouTube as a full movie, it's not.
What's on YouTube as a full movie? That makes it easy.
It is not.
That's not?
No. I thought it might be considering how old it was, and it's not like the biggest in-demand thing in the world. Or they might have it as like a movie available for free, like they sometimes do.
If it's really old, I might be able to find it in the Internet Archive. It's usually...
You can probably still buy a DVD of it, but that's not... I mean, it's something you have to be over the right age to remember, I think, because it's not...
Voltron Defenders of the Universe.
Well, I'm actually of the wrong age for all these 80 cartoons because I wasn't a kid then, but I used to record Transformers on my VCR when I was at the technical school so that I could watch them when I got home. But yeah, so I was, college age when all of these 80s cartoons were coming out.
I mean, I've enjoyed some of the cartoons. I mean, a lot of adults still watch anime.
Yeah.
Some of it's absolutely terrible. And
Yep.
Even though it was clearly a kid's cartoon, a lot of adults loved Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And I only watched that for the first time a couple of years ago. And basically, I'd heard about it and I had to go back and watch it because I watched several YouTube shows, about just writing. And Avatar was referred to several times, just as a good show for character development.
Yeah, it was. We also got to keep in mind that anime in Japan, and not all animation is intended for kids.
Well, I mean, Avatar: The Last Airbender wasn't Japanese.
No, it wasn't.
Well, yeah, a lot of animation in the US was never intended for kids either, but people didn't get that. The creator of Bullwinkle and Rocky said that his target audience was college students. And if you watch Bullwinkle, it makes sense because nobody under 20 will get half the jokes.
Well, now no one under 70 will get most of the jokes.
That's true.
Because it's just tied to a specific time.
Yeah.
But it was a brilliant piece. I mean, some of the jokes you'll still get just because they're universal, but things like the Kerwood Derby, it's like I once watched a documentary on it, and apparently it was a reference to someone named Derby Kerwood.
Yeah, here we are, the Voltron Fleet of Doom. You can watch it on the Roku channel for free. Doesn't even look like it needs a sign-in.
All right, I'm going to put something in live chat if anyone wants to know where to get those potato chips. The type of potato chips I was talking about that went over so quickly. Although this is not the flavor.
Yeah, those barbecue ones were really good. They had a lot more to them. Even like the Lays or that, they've been skimping and not putting as much flavor into them. Hey. Ethan is now annoyed at me because I disturbed the blanket that he was laying on.
Or you can travel 10 hours to Pennsylvania and pick up the snacks at the local Amish store like I did that day, but I was in Pennsylvania for a wedding. So that's the kettle cooked sour cream and onion.
Yeah, it's only 10 hours to you.
Well, some people might live in Pennsylvania and already know what they are.
Yeah, but you don't have to cross the entire state of Wisconsin, so it's a bit longer for me.
I haven't had those. I still prefer nibble with Gibbles. But Middlesworth are pretty good.
Yep.
And Utz is, well, you can get Utz anywhere now.
Yeah, I like the Utz brand. What I wish somebody would do, and Utz would be perfectly set up for this, is they've got the cheese balls. Can I get those instead of cheese with the barbecue flavor?
I don't know.
I've never seen anyone sell them that way, and that's what I would like.
All right, I'm gonna.
I did recently see the Utz put out those cheese balls, whatever they are, with a sour cream and onion flavor. I think they had. The Utz are also economical because they sell them in those big jugs. But of course, then you gotta figure out if you got use for the big plastic jugs. And I can hear Sage attacking the crinkly packing paper. That brown paper that they just leave kind of crumpled up in boxes for packing material from Amazon. I have found that kiddies really love to play with that stuff. I'm thinking it's because it makes a sound very similar to, like, a mouse crawling through a pile of leaves. That's got that sound and texture like dried leaves.
Molly likes the little crinkle thing to play with too.
I don't know why, but for some reason today I'm very aware of how loud my air conditioner is on every time it cycles. They just didn't seem it was that loud before I took the last trip. I don't know. I guess just being away from it for a couple of days.
Got used to it. Yep. Yeah. And Ice killed another person this week.
Yeah.
26-year-old Joan, Sebastian, Durian, and Guerrero.
Yep. And afterwards, they found out that he wasn't the person named on the warrant that they were, that they had arrested him under.
Yep. Apparently, he said he was trying to stop. Somebody reported that they heard him saying that. He was here legally. So he was trying to comply. He was here legally, so he's not even the person they're after.
Yeah, and apparently his 3-year-old daughter got to witness it.
Yeah, what other excuses have they couldn't come up with that they try and use for justifying this crap?
Yeah.
Old Dutch must be a brand that wasn't there when I was in Pennsylvania. Last lived there.
Yeah. I would think that would be a campaign platform that the Democrats could really use. Just
To bring Middlesworth potato chips to the rest of the country?
Sure, why not? But no, I was meaning that if they made Abolish ICE their platform.
And then they had, and just before, like a few days before that, they had Lorenzo get killed, that other guy.
Yeah.
Actually, what they should do is promise accountability for everyone in the Trump regime.
Yes.
Because we have to pass so many laws to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, and so much we need to go back and fix, too.
And we also need to do something about the aging political
the
class.
voters are trying to do something about that. If the Democrats will actually accept the results of their own primaries, because in the primaries, yeah, the older guys are getting pushed out by the younger generation, because the younger ones also tend to be more progressive candidates rather than ones that are just taking the corporate money and giving lip service to things.
Well, they're not happy about that either. They don't like the fact that Mondani won.
No, well, and it's not just Mondani. That's what I mean. That's been happening in primaries across the country, actually, for both parties, that younger candidates are winning the primaries. Yeah, nobody's happy about Mondani winning, because Mondani's actually proving that socialism actually is working.
I'm sorry, but
making things better.
Old Dutch potato chips cannot replace any potato chip from Pennsylvania. I just found out where they came from.
Oh.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
Well, I just assumed Old Dutch. Well,
yeah.
Something being Pennsylvania being called Old Dutch would not surprise me, considering.
Yeah, it would fit as a Pennsylvania brand.
Because even though the Pennsylvania Dutch aren't Dutch.
Yeah, people don't get that it was actually the Pennsylvania Deutsch. So, so many other misconceptions about our country. It all hinged on a bad pronunciation.
Just like their practice of powwow. No one really knows where it came from, but it's probably just a based on how the Germans pronounce the English word power.
Mm. Yeah, well, that's my theory on the maps of the Midwest, is that all the names are an English mapmaker trying to write down what a French explorer told him the natives said the land was called.
Terre Haute. La Lac Superior.
Yeah, well, I am not... The French still have to explain Eau Claire, Wisconsin. How do you put 3 vowels in a row and then pronounce it as one that's not there?
I don't know. The word plateau is like that too. Pennsylvania Dutch is a dialect of German, so. And if the way it's spoken now is kind of like a mix of English and German.
Another bit of history that most people would not get is that Pennsylvania was where the first oil well in the U.S. was drilled.
Yeah, I went by Titusville on my way out there.
Yeah, most people would just assume that it was like Texas or something.
I also went by Punxsutawney on my way out there.
Yep.
Most famous for the filming location of the film Groundhog's Day. And Punxsutawney leads the world in rodent meteorology. Seriously, I swear that the only reason Groundhog's Day exists is because someone wanted an excuse to get drunk.
Quite possible.
Well, and people don't even remember the original verse. It was that if the groundhog sees its shadow, there would be 6 more weeks of winter. But if he doesn't, spring is just 6 weeks away. Or spring is just a month and a half away. So what the verse originally said was, it doesn't make any difference. It's 6 weeks until spring either way. But people lost half the verse.
Listen, if you're a small town in western Pennsylvania, you've got to do something to get people to come to your town.
Yeah, you've got to have some kind of tourist attraction, and if that's all you can afford, you get a groundhog.
And they take good care of that groundhog, too.
Although, how long does a groundhog live?
Not very long, but I also know the Pennsylvania Lottery, and they still use this as one of their mascots, adopted a groundhog named Gus as its mascot.
Mm-hmm.
And the commercials go, "Hi, this is Gus, the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania."
Let's see here.
Okay.
In the wild, they tend to only live about 2 or 3 years. In captivity, they can live up to 14 years.
I mean,
Yeah, well, that's right. I remember that the Pennsylvania groundhog there was like 2 or 3 years ago. They had announced that the legacy was being passed on to the next generation.
I mean, he has a heated groundhog hole. I imagine he gets fed, gets medical care.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's getting at least the attention of any of the zoo animals, so probably he gets to live to be a teenager at least. But you do have to replace him from time to time. Oh.
Anyone?
Go ahead.
Is anyone watching the UK election with Nigel Farage and Count Binface?
I haven't been watching it myself, but Mike on the sofa has been, issuing updates on it. Now, see, this is part of why I think we need to change our election laws for third-party candidates. Is the U.S. really needs some of these satirical candidates to bring attention to stupidity?
Well, I guess Nigel Farage resigned and forced a by-election.
Mm-hmm.
Then a bunch of the other parties said, it's like, you know what? If you want to argue with the man with a trash can on his head, we're going to let you do that. So we're not running a candidate. So I guess the only one that's running against him is the Count.
Yep.
Count
Well,
Binface.
And Count Binface is actually a knockoff of Lord Buckethead, who was the one who had been running for many years. They actually did have a confrontation that the two of them got into sort of a wrestling match at one point. So I think that they were actually friends, and the second one picked up the gimmick for doing it in his local elections.
I believe there was some sort of controversy over who owned Lord Buckethead, so he came up with Count Binface as a response.
Ah. Okay.
But I can't believe he's actually ahead.
From what I've heard about Farage, I'm not too surprised that, again, it's one of those anyone but elections.
And this gives me hopes for Vermin Supreme in the U.S. elections.
I think the massive asteroid is still winning in our polls.
Listen,
Big
I
rock,
know people.
everyone dies.
I know people want the appeal of the massive asteroid or the giant meteor of death, but when it comes to that, I prefer my candidate to have proven worlds-destroying experience and not be a one-miss wonder. That's why I support Cthulhu for America. That's one thing I do miss about being Twitter, being able to follow the Cthulhu for America account.
Cthulhu loves the little children,
And he
all
eats
the
his
little
young.
children of the world. Boiled, baked, or fried in every way that he has tried. Cthulhu loves the children of the world.
He totally doesn't have any children of his own.
It's not surprising that Pennsylvania Dutch and Dutch would share some similar words because, much like English and Dutch share similar words because it's the same language family. Kannst du Deutsches Fetze?
So does that mean that somebody in Dutch could understand me saying that I don't understand German?
Maybe.
Nein, speaking Sie Deutsch?
I mean, I have heard Dutch referred to as femboy German.
Femboy German?
Which I don't think is a fair depiction, but...
No, but I love the phrase. We're the ones who didn't try to take over the world.
I mean, what does that make Norwegian? Lesbian German? I don't know.
I guess. Oh, now who could have ever predicted this happening? Woman with Trump tattoo on her forehead is asking for donations to get it removed.
Yeah. There are actually quite a number of tattoo parlors all over the country who will do free removal of Harry Potter tattoos for queer people.
First of all, tattoos have never appealed to me, but why would you put Trump's name on your forehead?
I'm going to wonder if this one isn't a grift, if she didn't just put it there in marker in order to do a fundraiser.
No, this is real. I remember hearing about it before.
Well, I do find the second picture on the right a little weird. Because you can see like a red band that almost makes it look like it's a sticker, but...
Yeah, well, the red band's just because it's fresh.
I mean, that could just be because it's the lighting too, so...
Yeah.
No, that's from when it was first done. It was still red from having it done.
Okay, so there is evidence that she's had this for several years then.
Yeah, this is real. I remember hearing about this story a while back.
Yeah. The tattoo itself doesn't surprise me considering, they were acting like he was the second Jesus. So I can see some fanatic doing this.
And yeah, I do remember her thinking, yeah, she's gonna regret that eventually.
Yep. Again, probably a higher regret rate than trans-affirming surgery.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet the regret rate for voting for Trump is higher than trans-affirming surgery.
Yeah, well, every week I'm seeing stories online about, farmers coming out and saying why they now regret voting for Trump. That they can always find people to interview for those stories. And it's like, yeah, so you're finally realizing that what Trump's delivering is exactly what we told you he would deliver to you the first time he was in office. Just why are some people just so slow on the pickup?
Because they didn't believe us the first time around, and they forgot what a disaster he was.
Yeah.
And
Or
no,
maybe they just didn't believe.
drill for more oil is not an economic plan.
Yeah. Selling off the national preserves for oil and logging, not a good long-term plan.
Well, he doesn't care. He's not going to be around long enough to live with the consequences of what he's done.
Yeah.
And even if he did, it's like he probably still wouldn't care because I'm not sure other people are real to Donald Trump.
No, his whole attitude is I got mine. Doesn't care about what the consequences are as long as he made a profit.
And when you're that, I think even he knows that he's close to death at this point.
Yeah, well, that's what all the monuments are about. That, he wants to make sure that there is some great monument to him so that no one forgets him after he died.
Oh, no one is going to forget Donald Trump for a long time. Just not for the reasons he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, his name will go down with Caligula, Nero,
Hitler.
Mussolini.
Yeah, our country's going to be such a mess that even if everything goes right, it will take decades to rebuild this country to what it was. Just as far as to rebuild all of our alliances and just our standing in the world. There's probably just irreparable damage there that the U.S. is never going to have the kind of respect that it once had before he was in office. Because one of the things, unfortunately, that he's shown to all of our allies is any agreement we have with you is only valid until the next election cycle. And it's unfortunate that there isn't any kind of world power that has the authority to prosecute someone for war crimes.
Well, honestly, I think Netanyahu will eventually end up before The Hague. Unless he dies first. But Trump probably will not.
Yeah.
Because Netanyahu knows if he ever gets out of power, he's going to prison.
Hasn't Trump reached the stage that one of his kids should be poisoning him by now to take over his empire? Just saying, historically, it's a common thing.
Well, first off, he doesn't really have an empire.
No, but I mean just to get control of the family fortune.
I'm not sure there is one. Donald Trump hasn't.
It's all built on scams and grifts.
Donald Trump is not a good businessman.
Yeah, but in his time in office, he has doubled his net worth.
Yeah. There was some rumors that he was actually he going broke at the point he being president again.
Well, it's also, how much has he got in crypto coins?
If only someone had a death note.
Now he's earned billions in the scams since he's president.
Yep. Well, and all all of the gifts and bribes that he's gotten from foreign dignitaries and from corporations.
And it's with a Death Note we can come up with so many creative ways for that for these outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess with the Death Note, you could get pretty specific about, the conditions surrounding it.
As long as it's physically possible.
Passed out naked and drunk on the front house lawn? On the White House lawn?
Listen, JD Vance is going to involve a couch in some way. Because that's just too good an opportunity to pass up if you do get that.
JD Vance, it has to be, some kind of malfunction of a couch. That somehow a couch collapses, trapping him inside it.
Autoerotic asphyxiation from a couch.
Yep.
Mike Johnson would involve his gay lover. But fortunately, this is not real.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Death Note would be extremely dangerous because I think most people with that kind of power would have lapses of their morality, even if they had some to begin with.
Oh, definitely.
I think that's kind of the point of the series.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that he starts out thinking he's using it for good causes, but it's going to get out of hand.
No, he does at first, but he ends up becoming the bad villain, and he's trying to defeat.
Yeah.
It's the whole power corrupts.
Yeah, well, I've made an ongoing joke about the idea of having a list of people that would be considered a public service to remove them from society.
I think everyone has a better dead list. And you're probably on someone's list.
Oh, I could tell you at least 3 people whose lists I'd be on. One former roommate, a sloth girl's ex-husband. Yeah, I'm sure that if either of them had a Death Note, I wouldn't be around anymore.
Yeah, it's like in high school, people threatening to kick my ass and take a number and get in line.
Now, see, when I was in high school, generally at that point, I had gotten numb to the bullying and didn't react. But once or twice a year, somebody would do it at the wrong time, and I would just go into the berserker rage and start pounding on them. And since nobody knew what triggered that, they stopped bothering me, or at least they did it from a long enough distance to make sure that they could get out of the way before I could jump them.
I do not miss my high school days.
Well, I always went into a fight with the idea of, I know I'm going to lose the fight, but, I can go for a couple of minutes without feeling the pain, and it's how much damage can I do in the couple of minutes? And since most bullies really function on the same level of predators in the wild, of knowing that a serious injury will put them out of commission for somebody else to take them out, just being unpredictable was enough to keep them from bothering me.
I broke my bully's nose and loosened his front teeth.
Well, after getting into a couple of fights at elementary school, I just stopped doing that anymore. So I do recall, like, because fighting everyone who just was going to be mean was not the option.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. Like I say, I could only do it knowing that I was going to lose the fight, but just that it was a deterrent.
So, seeing as you're a teacher, is bullying still as big of a issue as it was back then?
Yes, it's worse now
Really?
Yeah.
because we have easier ways to bully people,
Yeah.
and it's
well,
not always physical.
Yep. With
They do
cyberbullying being a
They do
thing.
the
And,
cyberbullying
yeah.
thing now.
And a lot of times it's like teachers don't do anything about it. It's like there's only so much we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's an issue that the parents have to deal with, and a lot of times the parents will actually encourage it. The fathers often will, just say that he's developing into a good man if he can, have the power to push other kids around.
And it's not like they're going to do it anything obvious within earshot of us or a visual range unless they're brazen, or they've reached the point where they just don't care. Like the time when the 3 boys got into a fight in my classroom, and before that happened, I was trying to get one of them out to separate them.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I think I chose the wrong person, but then again, I didn't expect the 3rd boy to get into the fight because he wasn't in the initial conflict. But also, when something like that does break out now, it's not in school suspension. They get arrested and often they end up in juvenile hall.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's often the pipeline to prison. But yeah, I hear about, just generally what's going on in the high school from my nephew. And it certainly has not gotten any better since I was in high school. He at least has the defense of, a couple of friends that if somebody bullies any one of them, then all 3 of them will come after him. So they have at least found protection of being a devoted group to each other. Which is why bullies will try to pick on whoever they feel is the most isolated and doesn't have any friends.
And to be fair, I think that's something that happens online too. And it's not just kids that do it. It's a lot of the drama communities get into that particular mindset.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have felt that a lot of people never grow out of that teenager attitude. But yeah, right through people who are, even in their 30s and 40s, I still see the same kind of behavior.
But also, if you've ever done content creation, if you do a certain type of content, after a while, you get stuck in like what people expect from you, and it's kind of hard to pivot from that.
Yeah. Well, if you're worried about your channel size, yeah. If you try to pivot to something new, you've got to expect you're going to lose half your subscribers doing it.
And it takes a while to rebuild. At least on YouTube. Other platforms, it's a bit different, where they're not necessarily... Like short-form content, they're not necessarily following you for what you did before, but...
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You don't build followings like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're only, doing things that are 2 or 3 minutes, people are just looking for that little tidbit or that joke. But, if you're staying on a subject that you're, doing half an hour videos on it on a regular basis, then it's hard to find a new audience.
But I know it was like a couple years ago for me, it was Steve McRae, and then I guess there was a new thing that happened at NanoCon, and so people are going after people involved with that. It's like,
Yeah.
and maybe going after them is justified initially, but then it just goes into its own.
Well, and that the whole NanoCon thing there isn't really any hard evidence for what happened.
Well, I was going to say I only have a brief explanation of what happened, and as I wasn't there, and
yeah, I'm disappointed in some of the people and the positions they took on it, but it really does come down a lot to who do you choose to believe, and unfortunately, when that comes into play, a lot of it comes down to platform size.
Yeah, here we are. The whole diarrhea explosive thing is being labeled as Trumperia.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so what's that basically saying, that we shouldn't be eating salads for a while, or what?
It's nothing raw. Probably best to cook the veggies.
I wonder how that affects other animals, though.
Yeah.
Because Molly's son has a bearded dragon. And raw vegetables are a big part of his diet. So I wonder if that's any hazard to him, or if it's something that's only going to affect mammals.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that myself, because I do have to feed my parrot raw veggies.
Yeah. Yeah, so I take it's a bacteria thing that does something, throws off your gut biome.
Cyclosporidius.
it's a parasite. It's not a bacterium.
Okay.
Well, it could be a bacterium, but no, it's either a protozoa or an animal of some sort.
Yeah.
Cyclospora. It's easy to pronounce. Parasite Cyclospora.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Let's see if I can get a little bit more information on this.
Yeah, it is concerning because Michael away on a camping trip, so have to be watching the lizard. Jeez.
Well, also keep in mind we have an administration that thinks if you don't count the cases, you don't have as many cases as you do.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And chances are the counted cases that we have are undercounted due to underreporting.
Yeah.
86. Let's see, 86 require hospitalization. 1,500 cases that require further analysis to confirm the illness. At least 843 confirmed across 31 states.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about, was how many states were affected.
Well, and most people just recover from it without even treatment. So
right. Yeah, well, most people, if they have diarrhea for a day or two, won't think a whole lot of it, so they're not going to report it to anyone official.
Lettuce imported from Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, at most, maybe they go to urgent care and they're, given some kind of an over-the-counter remedy for the diarrhea. What were you saying?
I'm reading an NPR article.
Well, here's a map of the outbreak.
Okay, so Michigan is where it's got the hardest.
Looks like it.
Cooking produce is an effective way to avoid infection, and heating food to 158 degrees Fahrenheit or higher kills cyclospora. Public health officials advise thoroughly rinsing all produce under rainwater. Even items that say they're pre-washed, do this before eating if eaten raw or cooking. Observe standard food safety rules.
I can see that, could be a big problem for things like the bags of the pre-made salads. That people are generally not going to wash those. They're just going to dump them in a bowl and put the dressing on.
Okay, so the species that affects humans does not affect reptiles.
Okay, well, that's some good news at least.
For most healthy adults, it's often a self-limited infection will go away by itself.
Mhm. It said it didn't affect reptiles, but how about birds? You were saying.
Birds are reptiles.
Yeah.
Well, they are, but birds
Well,
are
yeah,
also warm-blooded.
It's a little bit different. I can
Yeah.
I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking that it might not affect cold-blooded animals because they don't maintain a steady temperature, but birds do. Oh. Oh, well. Why don't we wrap it
No.
up for the day here?
Okay,
What?
does not affect birds.
Okay, that's good then. Because then, yeah, you've also got your chickens. I assume you're feeding them like kitchen scraps as well.
Yeah, they get scraps and stuff.
Yep.
So I should check one other thing.
Wrapping it up does seem like a good idea, though.
Yep.
Because
So,
someone
Porpoise.
will slap time.
Yep. You have anything you want to say in closing here?
I really should get around to doing that video on Kinger's hacking scene from episode 8 of The Amazing Digital Circus, but if I don't get around to it, I don't get around to it. If you want to subscribe to Mad Computer Scientist or The Sinister Porpoise on YouTube, do so. I'm trying to see if I can reach 500 followers before actually doing anything again. If you want to follow me on Clapper, it's at Mad Computer Scientist, all one word. Be excellent to each other, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Well, if you want to get more subscribers without doing anything, you should ask Shannon Q for some, tips on how to do that.
I don't think I can date Paula Gia.
No.
I think she might have an issue with that.
I don't know. I don't know the terms of their relationship. Maybe they're okay with it, but yeah. Okay. Mage, you have anything on any of the topics we covered?
Nope. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Okay. Well, you did talk about brats while I was away from my microphone, so
Yeah.
the only bit I'll add is that cooking brats is the only actual use I have ever found for beer. I can't stand drinking beer, but it does add something to the flavor of brats.
Yeah, most of the stuff that makes it taste bad is cooked out if you use them for bratwurst.
Yeah.
And cook them.
Yeah, so the cheddar brats cooked in beer, those are probably my favorite. So with that, we will bid you all a good day and see you all same time next week.
Hi, Athena. Do you want pets?
Be gay, do crime, don't get caught.
May
Bye-bye.
the odds be ever in your favor.